and to the delegates to this, the second edition of the ASEAN-India Youth Summit, being held at Guwahati. To begin the inaugural session, it is my proud privilege to invite on stage the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Shri Sarbananda Sonowal, who is also the chair of the organizing committee. It is my proud privilege to invite on stage Mr. Phoak, Deputy Secretary General, ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, ASEAN. And finally, it is my very proud privilege to invite Ms. Vijay Thakur Singh, Secretary East, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. May I now request Ms. Singh to deliver the welcome address. Ma'am.
Namaskar and welcome to India, the delegates who have come from overseas. Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Shri Sarbananda Sonowal ji, Shri K.J. Alphons, Minister of State for Tourism, His Excellency Mr. Phoak, ASEAN Deputy Secretary General for Socio-Economic Affairs, Major General Dhruv Katoj, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioners of the ASEAN countries, and my young friends from ASEAN and India, good afternoon. It is my privilege and a pleasure to welcome all of you to the second edition of the ASEAN-India Youth Summit, hosted by the Ministry of External Affairs in partnership with the India Foundation and the State Government of Assam. I thank India Foundation and the Government of Assam for their stellar support in organizing this event. The ASEAN-India partnership is built on the strong foundations of cultural and civilizational linkages, and over the past few years, we have achieved substantial progress under the three pillars, key pillars of our partnership, which is the political security, economic, and socio-culture. Our millennia-old ties with the ASEAN countries are evident in our culture, in our greetings, our architecture, our folklore, our ancient epics like Mahabharata and Ramayana, which are told and retold in dance dramas and other performing arts all across ASEAN countries. Our shared names also are derived from the languages of Pali and Sanskrit. We therefore have gathered today to reinforce those ties, and these ties get reinforced for the future when we do have the youth here. The youth are the future policymakers and change agents, and offering them a platform where they can interact and voice their views on matters of politics, economics, and issues of global concern is very important. You are, as future leaders of your countries, and as a tribute to that, we are hosting the Youth Summit, where we are bringing together the youth of India and ASEAN. The edition this year is very aptly themed as connectivity is the pathway to shared prosperity. It is this constructive connect amongst the youth that will drive our countries and our relationship forward. Over the next 3 days, you would be bonding over various activities spanning panel discussions, breakout sessions, site visits, and study tours. And after that, we look forward to some observation and suggestions from you as to how to take our Indian-ASEAN relationship forward. I'm also glad that outstanding youth, one each from each ASEAN country, will be felicitated with the ASEAN-India Youth Awards towards the end of the summit. We hope that those chosen for the awards and all all of you who are participating here today will carry on the responsibility of progressing the ASEAN-India partnership to greater heights. I am extremely grateful to all the distinguished guests, especially the Chief Minister of Assam, Shri Sarbananda Sonowal, for having kindly consented to grace this event and extend immense support for the successful organization of this summit. Excellencies from ASEAN member states, we are honored by your presence here. We are especially indebted to His Excellency Mr. Kung Fao, the ASEAN Deputy Secretary General for Socio-Cultural Community, for gracing this event and coming all the way from Jakarta. I would like to extend our gratitude to Shri K.J. Alphons, our Minister of State for Tourism, under whose leadership we will be celebrating the ASEAN-India Tourism Cooperation Year 2019. Finally, our special thanks goes to External Affairs Minister Srimati Sushma Swaraj for her constant guidance and energy with which she has inspired us to move the India-ASEAN relationship forward. I am hopeful that all the young representatives here today from the ASEAN countries will benefit from the discussions that you have today and from your visit to Assam. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
I now invite Mr. Kung Phoak, Deputy Secretary General ASEAN, who is a guest of honor, to deliver his address, please. Sir.
Your Excellencies, Mr. Sarbananda Sonowal, Chief Ministers of the State of Assam, Your Excellencies, Mr. K.J. Alphons, Minister of Tourism, Independent Church, Government of India, Your Excellencies, Mr. Nongthamban Singh, Chief Minister of Manipur, Madam Vijay Thakur Singh, Secretary East, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, Major General Dhruv Katoch, Director of India Foundation, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. It is a great honor for me to be here today in the beautiful city of Guwahati for the second ASEAN-India Youth Summit. This summit is a sound example of our commitment to lay a solid in Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh state, and witness the birth of ASEAN-India Youth Declaration. The declaration embodied the aspiration among youth from ASEAN and India on the common vision of peace and prosperity, and in light of such spirit, I'm eager to learn what our youth have for us in store today. Since the commencement in 1992, ASEAN-India relations have made significant progress and expanded to cover a wide range of areas, including political security, economic, and social cultural cooperation, and was subsequently elevated to a strategic partnership since 2012. Our collective commitment to promoting peace, stability, and prosperity in the region is a shared strategic vision and cornerstone of ASEAN-India relations. Up to this day, ASEAN and India collaboration have also been characterized by strong cultural as well as historical link through the convening of many collaborative activities. With the theme connectivity is the pathway to shared prosperity, the second ASEAN-India Youth Summit is a significant initiative for promoting connectivity that is essential in meeting the goals of the ASEAN-India partnership for peace, progress, and shared prosperity. Initiatives like this deepen the ties and mutual understanding among the youth as well as between ASEAN and India. Connectivity also enhances trade and investment and enables sharing of innovative researches and solutions, promote good practices that improve governance and financial inclusion through technology, and strengthen human capital development through mobility and share of talents and skills. The realization of our commitment in nurturing partnership and shared prosperity has been evident through collaborative initiatives such as the establishment of the ASEAN-India Network of Think Tanks, ASEAN-India Science Technology Development Fund, ASEAN-India Business Council, collaboration in the field of blue economy, and foremost reflected in the trade growth between our regions. The total trade between ASEAN and India doubled in the last decade from 38.4 billion in 2007 to 73.5 billion in 2017. The adoption of the Delhi Declaration during the ASEAN-India Commemorative Summit last year, among others, reaffirmed the commitment of both ASEAN and India in strengthening the bond among our youth through education, highlighting the theme, Share Values, Common Destiny. The pinnacle of the 25th anniversary of ASEAN-India Dialogue Relation was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's announcement of the grant of fellowship for students from ASEAN countries to study at one of the most prestigious education institutions in India, the Indian Institute of Technology, the Indian ASEAN Highway Professional Training Program, and the promotion of university-to-university exchanges to promote student mobility and research. In times when disruption are becoming overarching themes of the century, these much anticipated efforts enrich ongoing ASEAN-India cooperation in higher education, such as the Goodwill Scholarship and the Nalanda University Scholarship. For this, we're truly grateful for, for the support from our good friends in India. Distinguished guests, the youth of today must be resilient more than ever. The many disruptions in our society must be dealt with in a manner that enables our youth to be adaptive, responsive, nimble, and vigilant. From natural disasters and social tension to digitalization and automation, unprecedented events continue to emerge and affect the way we live, interact, and go about our daily lives. It is for this reason that whatever youth development measure we take is geared toward instilling the necessary skills and mentality for our youth to progress in the evolution of the future workforce. The focus of youth development should go beyond hard technical skills, but also soft skills that allow them to adapt well to rapid changes in the futures. I believe that this is very much relevant with what ASEAN and India envision when strengthening cooperation among ourselves. It is our desire to reassure that the future leaders and caretakers of our great nation are equipped with essential skills and values that will bring peace and prosperity into the region and beyond. It is therefore evident that our youth will remain at the centers of our development agenda as they are our futures. Fostering youth connectivity and the value of shared prosperity among our youth can be nurtured by encouraging their participation in meaningful community building activities across our region. There are many examples of ASEAN-India collaboration where youth participation can be enhanced to bring out the positive characteristics and values of being a good global citizen. A good example to build on would be India's support in establishing digital villages in Cambodia, Laos PDR, Myanmar, and Vietnam, using India Gigabit Passive Optional Network technology. It would be interesting to explore how the youth of ASEAN and India could partake in efforts to improving information and communication technology, as well as promoting digital literacy and rural entrepreneurship in the villages by introducing innovation and problem-solving skills to the local youth communities as well. My fellow youth, your role in addressing global issues, preserving the benefit of social development and the prosperity to share is increasingly wanted. With the majority of you being IT savvy and digital native, voicing your idea toward our community building efforts, as well as becoming agents of behavioral change, should no longer be a major challenge. It is also desired upon you to lend a hand and amplify the efforts of our region in building a community that is sustainable, inclusive, dynamic, resilient, and most important of all, benefits the people. One of the challenges in our community building efforts is climate change. Realizing how climate change heightens the frequency and intensity of natural disasters, the ASEAN leaders adopted the ASEAN Declaration on the adoption of the ASEAN Youth in Climate Action and Disaster Resilience Day during the 33 ASEAN Summit in November 2018. The declaration set a commitment to strengthen youth participation in climate change adaptation and mitigation, and also disaster risk reduction. It also declares 25th November as an important day for you, that is the ASEAN Youth in Climate Action and Disaster Resilience Days. The first commemoration was held by the Philippines, whereby the National Conference of Youth organized a simulation of the annual conference of the parties to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and selected top 10 youth-led climate action. We are hopeful that the commemoration of this declaration this year will be more impactful, and we very much look forward to the possible collaboration between the youth of India and ASEAN in this endeavor. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Be the change that you want to see in the world." Rest assured that what we are fostering through the ASEAN-India Youth Summit is not to project our hopes and expectation to you, our youth, but to assist you in realizing a future that is yours to envision, yours to own, and yours to pass down to the next generation of hopeful youth. Last January, ASEAN-India tourism ministers declared the year 2019 as the ASEAN-India Tourism Cooperation Year. I would like to use this opportunity to reaffirm that ASEAN is looking forward to enhancing cooperation with India in increasing two-way tourist visits and promoting greater people-to-people exchanges between ASEAN and India. I also look forward to the fruition of the ASEAN-India tourism training programs in the sharing of resources and facilitate further the connectivity between our hospitality industry and the tourism educator involved. It is also my hope that the ASEAN-India Youth Summit today would contribute to enriching the ASEAN-India strategic partnership and elevating it to new heights. I would like to end my remark by thanking Chief Ministers and Minister of Tourism and also the organizer for inviting us here today, and also for hosting warm hospitalities to all of the young people from the ASEAN regions. And I wish that for the next 2 or 3 days, you will gain a lot of ideas and insights, and build on this. You will connect with one another through technology. I'm sure after this, you probably wire up with one another with some sort of apps or online application, and then maintain the relationship and share what you have and learn from each other, and build on this. You can contribute more to the efforts of all the ASEAN members in ensuring that this community will provide all the benefits to our peoples. So once again, thank you very much, and wish you all a fruitful and successful summit. Thank you.
It is now my proud privilege to invite our chief guest, Shri K.J. Alphons, Minister of State Independent Charge for Tourism, Government of India, to address the audience. Sir.
Distinguished Chief Minister of Assam, Sarbananda Sonowal, His Excellency Phoak, the Deputy Secretary General of ASEAN, Distinguished Secretary, External Affairs, Vijay, Thakur Singh, General Katoj, Their Excellencies, and my dear young friends. I'm extremely happy to be here. I was in Halong 2 weeks back at the ASEAN-India Tourism Minister Summit, where we declared the ASEAN-India Collaborative Year 2019, we declared. And it was my privilege, proud privilege, to announce that as co-chair of the meeting there. I'm so young to see so many young people here. I think the world belongs to young people. I think it's time we discard age-old philosophies, thought, and then to believe that we all need to work together, not build walls, which is so easy to do, which some people are trying to do. And I think we just need to light a lamp which will spread the light across the world. And there is so much common between the ASEAN countries and India. I think this was the last ASEAN Ministers India Summit. The tourism minister of Malaysia said the shared legacy of ASEAN and India is that basically it's the Indian civilization, the Hindu civilization which we share. We have so much in common. The Buddhist philosophy, the Hindu philosophy, it's so deeply embedded in the entire ASEAN region where we work together. And this area, if you look at it today, over the past 15, 20 years, has done an amazing amount of work. I mean, take a country like Vietnam, because I was there just 2 weeks back. They threw out the colonial powers. They threw out the biggest empire in the history of the world, the most powerful people in the world, the United States, with so much of pride, which is a great inspiration for every one of us, for the whole world. And they have built up a wonderful country which is growing so phenomenally fast. And as far as tourism is concerned, they made such quadruple jumps in the past 10 years from nowhere. I think today they have something like 15 million inbound tourists come in Vietnam. I think all this is such phenomenal things which some of the countries are doing. I think every member of the ASEAN group is doing such amazing job. So we in India, we are the largest, the fastest growing large economy in the world. By 2022, we intend to be a 5 trillion economy. And then in another 8 years, we intend to be a 10 trillion economy. It's the core place where a lot of things are happening. We have people deeply involved in research and technology, working all over the world, not only in India. If you look at the global laboratories, very large number of young Indian scientists are working. And we all work together to create a beautiful world. And what better mechanism can there be to create a better world? And what's a better world? Where we are all happy. I think that is so fundamental. The question, why are we on the face of the earth? I think there are only two answers to that. One, to be happy and to make others happy. I think these are fundamental. And so we all work together. What is the core of, let's say, the ASEAN philosophy, which I think comprises the core of the Indian philosophy, and we call it yoga? What is that? It's simple. It's a philosophy which believes that you and I, we are one. The rest of humanity, we are all one. And we go beyond that and say the entire planet is one. This is what we say. This is the core of the yoga philosophy. So yoga is not an exercise. It's not a physical exercise. It's not even a mental exercise. It's a way of life in which you believe that the entire universe is part of me. And then what happens? It doesn't end with your exercises. It's a belief that happiness is indivisible. I can't decide that I will be happy, my family will be happy, me, my parents, my children, we will be happy. Sorry. This is fundamental to yoga, Indian philosophy, that if I want to be happy, the other has to be happy because the other is part of me. And our happiness has to be sustainable. And therefore, we've got to take the entire universe along, just not human beings. The flora and the fauna and the entire planet. We can't hurt the planet. We need to take it along. When we find happiness, it's an easy way to find, okay, we will do everything that's possible to make human beings happy, but can that happiness be sustainable? No. We got to protect the universe, preserve the universe. I think this is yoga philosophy. This is Indian philosophy. And I think this is a common philosophical legacy of ASEAN countries. So this is what connects us. The theme of our summit is actually connectivity. So I'm not talking about physical connectivity because that is going to be dealt with in some other sessions. Let's talk about the spiritual, the mental connectivity. So let's all work together. While we find prosperity, today we find huge growth, prosperity. Many of your countries have abolished poverty at phenomenal pace, at a speed which the world has never seen. But I really think we just need to move closer, all our young people, because you have a stake in the world. I think we just need to redefine and say, this world belongs to the young people. It's our future which matters. But I'm a very positive person, but I also tend to be practical once in a while. I think the way we are going, the way we throw out waste into the space, destroy our beautiful air which we breathe. I did not think the human being is going to survive on the face of the earth beyond 100 years. I seriously doubt. So forget about your grandchildren. They're not going to be born. They're not going to live. This world will come to an end the way we are destroying it. Look at the emissions. Look at the kind of destruction which man thrusts upon the whole universe. Man is the cruelest creature on the face of the earth. Cruelest. This has to end. And who can do it? Young people say, we have a right on this universe and we need to take it forward. So ladies and gentlemen, it's an incredible world which is so closely linked today with the net. Everything is available. I found this board the other day when I was in Manhattan. Outside the church, there was a board which said, this church still exists because there are still some things which Google doesn't know. Google seems to know everything. But again, I got another forward which said the other day, the only thing to discover is yourself. Everything else, Google will tell you. I mean, Google is a common factor again. Ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, it's a personal discovery. What are we? Why are we here for? I keep going to schools and colleges and talking to lots of people, and I keep asking them, how many of you have asked this very fundamental question, why am I born? Why am I created? And to my utter surprise, I find a kid who is a state topper, who is a national topper. The other day I asked one of those kids, now you are the national topper in your examination. Tell me a very simple question. What are you going to do in your life? You know what the kid told me, 18-year-old? I will go home, I'll ask my mother, and then I will tell you. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I think youth has to be about dreams. And here is the greatest dreamer here. I think the greatest badminton coach in the world is here. Can you just stand up? He's going to speak to you later. Mr. Gobichand, okay? Who produces Olympic champions in the last Olympics. Two of his people whom he coaches got medals at the Olympics. He's the greatest badminton coach in the world. When I walked in, I shook hands with him. I thought he must be some college student, some volunteer here. Then somebody said, oh, this is Govichand. I said, my God, he looks like a college kid. How does he do that? Yeah, he's amazing. So he's the greatest dreamer who has put dreams into people. My dear young people, let's have dreams. I come from a village, non-electrified village. I studied in a Malayalam medium school, and I was one of the dumbest kids in the history of the school ever. You know how much I got in my board examination, school board examination? Govichand, you would be shocked. You would never take me into your academy anyway. I got 42%. And then I became one of the toppers in the civil service. I think most of you may not know about the Indian civil service. About 1.3 million people write the civil service examination. And you know how many people get selected? 100 people get selected. Of course, our Secretary of External Affairs is one of the people. I happen to be one of the people who got selected. I got selected into that. Then I resigned, I became a politician, member of the State Senate. Then, of course, I became a union minister. This world has to be led by dreams, my dear young people. Not the dreams of your Honorable Chief Minister. Is a very, very smart young Chief Minister who is making dramatic changes to the state of Assam is here, which is achieving incredible growth today. But ultimately, each of us have to tell ourselves, because you are young, and say, I am going to make the difference. I think that has to be the spirit of the ASEANs. When we get out of this place, each of us resolve and say, yes, I'm going back to my country. And we share a spirit in which we all decide that each one of us will leave the world a better place. So have a wonderful time. And as Minister for Tourism, I'm extremely happy to be here. Let me also tell you a couple of things about tourism. The latest World Travel and Tourism Council's report, India is at rank number 3. I know most of you are getting more inbound than us, but we are at rank number 3 on 4 factors. The ranking was based on 4 indicators. Number 1, the contribution of tourism to the GDP. Number 2, foreign spend in India, domestic spend in India, and the investment in the tourism sector. Most of you would be shocked if I tell you how much revenue we generated from tourism last year. It's a mind-boggling $234 billion. That is what we generated from tourism last year. Out of which 87% was from domestic tourists, 87%. So I just got 13% from foreign tourist arrivals spent in India, which of course we got about $27 billion from the foreign tourists visiting India against a global growth rate of 7%. We've grown at 14%. I know some of you have been smarter than us. Many of your countries have grown much more than that, but the global growth rate was 7%. We grew at 14% last year. Against a global revenue growth of 5% from foreign tourists, my revenues went up by 19.2%. So we'd grown at 4 times the global average. I know many of you are doing better than we are doing. So, and you know how many people I employ in the tourism sector? It's an incredible 82 million people I employ in the tourism sector. I think that's more than any country in the world, because I generate 87% of my tourism is domestic tourism. Indians are traveling. And of course, out of these 87% of domestic tourism, about 60 to 70% is actually spiritual tourism, people visiting religious places. Fine for me, as long as they travel, as long as they occupy a room, as long as they hire a taxi, as long as they go shopping, they go to a restaurant, for me it's fine. I don't care where the money comes from. I think this is the biggest bonding we can ever have, travel, which binds the country together, which binds the world together. But am I happy with whatever we are doing? No. I want a lot more people from your countries to come to us. Because a visit to India, it's just not a visit, oh, I went to India. Sorry. It's not even experiential, oh, I went and experienced India. No. Our punchline is very simple. Anybody who comes to India, when he leaves, he should be able to look inside and say, yes, I am a different person today than when I came in. This is the objective of Indian tourism, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm extremely happy. Enjoy yourself. Do all the brainstorming. See how we can demolish the walls being built up by insane people. How we can bring sanity into politics and into education. Today, the world is getting crushed under the pressure of xenophobic ideas. People believing, yes, me, my country, and there's nothing beyond that. I think you people, only you can do it. Break down those walls. And let's begin with the ASEAN countries. Thank you very much, and congratulations to the organizers, and thank you very much for inviting me here. After this conclave, my appeal to is, just don't go back from Guwahati, see the entire Northeast. The Northeastern states are incredibly beautiful. I was in Sikkim the other day. You know, the Gangtok city is better than any European city. It's amazing, it's fantastic. So it's an amazing treasure of topographical beauty, incredible talent, people with wonderful music. When 3 people from the Northeastern states, 3 of them get together, there is a choir. Where else in the world will it happen? Fantastic dance and music. So ladies and gentlemen, take a few days more out and go and see. We have this wonderful Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary, which is, you know, where you have plenty of one-horned rhinos. In fact, we brought out a promotional on that recently. It's a Frenchman closing his library and coming to India to Kaziranga. And then when he goes back, leaves, he says, sorry, if the government could succeed in protecting the rhino, which was only 400 in numbers, and today because of the government effort, we have 1,400 rhinos. Sorry, I'm not going to close down my bookstore. I'm reopening it. So I think what we do in this country, some of these experiments which have hugely succeeded, and congratulations, Chief Minister, your state has done it. I think all these are great examples for us to get together. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful time here.
After that very motivating talk by Minister Alphons, It is now my proud privilege to invite the chairman of the organizing committee and the chief minister of this beautiful state of Assam, Shri Sarbananda Sonowal ji, to kindly come and address the gathering. Sir.
Good afternoon. Respected KJ Alphons, Honorable Indian Minister of State for Tourism, Government of India. Respected Major General Dhruva C. Khatos, Director, India Foundation. Respected Srimati Vijay Thakur Singh, the Secretary East, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. His Excellency Phoak, Deputy Secretary General, ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community, and respected the badminton legend Palilo Gapishan, and respected ladies and gentlemen, my youth friend from ASEAN. Today, this moment is a beautiful moment for all of us, particularly when there is a gathering of youth that determines the future vision. And our Honorable Prime Minister firmly believes on the youth-led development. Now you are the future of the world society. Now we are to build up that society from Southeast Asia, which will speak the strength, ability, courage, determination, honesty, and dedication of human being. So I believe that's the spirit we are to build up in this kind of very important event. We are to develop the spirit of mutual association, working together, and also our mutual growth. And this part of the country, as you have landed in Assam, to discover India, because this part of India, the Northeast, is comprising of 8 states, beautiful states. We have Sikkim, we have Tripura, we have Mizoram, we have Manipur, we have Meghalaya, we have Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, and Assam. This beautiful part of the country is full of natural beauty, landscape, water resources, forest resources, and human resources, and cultural resources, and above all, spiritual resources. So now, to what best extent you could extract it for your mutual growth, for your growth of the country and growth of the society. So today I am very happy to be the chairman of this organizing committee, especially thankful to the India Foundation, Ram Madhavji, and also our Honorable External Affairs Minister, Sushma Swarajji. Because of their kind support, this has become possible at Guwahati. And for the tomorrow vision, I believe we are to talk of our relationship in the sector of education, health, tourism, culture, trade and business, etc., etc. I believe if the youth start working together and try to realize their full of potentialities, abilities, then accordingly, I believe they will put their hard work and dedication in the field of their respective area of day-to-day activities so that they could contribute immensely to the growth of human society. And I, being the Chief Minister of Assam, firmly believe that because of our Honorable Prime Minister's special interest and emphasis on the speedy growth of the entire Northeast, we got Act East policy. Earlier it was Look East policy. But when this was introduced as a foreign policy in this part of the country, that Look East policy was confined to the only announcement. It has never landed in the ground to convert act into action. It is only our Honorable Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, who deeply realized that this is the most potential zone of the country, entire Northeast India. That's why in Hindi, he has given a new narrative that is called Ashtalasmi. It's full of potentialities, possibilities, and prosperities. That is why he has given this policy to us. And with this particular policy now, we got an opportunity to develop our relationship, connectivity, and communication with all the ASEAN countries and Southeast Asia, BBN and ASEAN. Altogether, we are surrounded by 13 nations, very close to us. And if we could develop this connectivity and communication, then we can access to everybody, and tomorrow it would be easier for us to do anything mutually possible. So I believe with that particular deep realization, all the youth present here today will definitely determine to develop their future tomorrow. And I'll be very happy to see the faces of the different respective countries taking part in this particular historic event. Will you be mind to stand up just to introduce yourself? That is from Vietnam. Will you be kind enough to introduce yourself from Vietnam? Yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, please sit down. Laos, welcome. Thank you, please sit down. Brunei. Thank you. Philippines. Welcome. Thank you. Malaysia. Welcome. Thank you. Cambodia. Welcome. Singapore. Welcome. Thailand. Welcome. Myanmar. Welcome. So it covers all the 10 nations. Anybody left? India, of course, India is there. We are the host, India. Welcome. Indonesia. Thank you. Indonesia. Yeah, welcome. So thank you. Your presence has made us proud, and really it gives a lot of strength because you can generate power and energy. And this power is highly essential for our mankind. Our legendary figure in the world of culture, Dr. Bhupen Hazarika, which has been recently awarded the highest civilian award that's called Bharat Ratna posthumously by Government of India. So he always used to sing that men should always think for mankind. So that is why we are here to serve the mankind. So this is the spirit we should always maintain in our day-to-day life, in our entire thought process, in our entire proceeding of our life, so that we could contribute something valuable to the mankind for their sustainable existence in this world. This is highly essential because nowadays UNDP has set the agenda, Sustainable Development Goal. How the world society will sustain with quality of thinking, quality of working, and quality of existence. So this is how the quality of mankind will be determined if we could contribute everything value-based. So that will come out of your positive spirit, out of your dedicated hard work and, I believe, effort. So I have nothing to say more than this, and I firmly believe this kind of association will continue to survive, and we'll have to, in the future, have frequent exchanges of our ideas. If we could cheat time and again, it would be possible, because there are so many areas which is full of potentialities, but it is to be explored by way of putting our hard work and dedication, by way of putting our proper thought process, innovative ideas, so that we can be mutually benefited out of that. So in the near future, Assam will be always happy to be a part of this kind of novel endeavor. And I believe we are as next door neighbor to you, particularly Myanmar is very close to us, and also Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal. And by air, we could communicate, we could connect with all your capital city within 2.5 hours' time. So that is why Government of India is kind enough from the Ministry of Civil Aviation, who is going to give us the connectivity from Guwahati to Bangkok, Guwahati to the other important cities of the ASEAN countries within a short span of time. So in the meantime, because of the Bhutan government special effort, they have started the Druk Airlines from Paro to Singapore via Guwahati. So this is a very good news for all of us. And by the time the government of Bangladesh and government of Bhutan has set up their two consulate here, and we are requesting the Honorable Union Minister for External Affairs, Srimati Sushma Swaraj, to pay the request to all the ASEAN countries so that they could come forward and set their consulate at Guwahati itself. Because Guwahati, we are going to make it the gateway of Southeast Asia. So that is why environment of modern infrastructure facility need to be improved. That is why we are also immediately started our construction of integrated terminal building at Guwahati Airport, and also going to develop two 65-story building of World Trade Centers. So this is mainly to give space to the investor from the this thing within and outside of the country. So this is the way we are trying to develop our own atmosphere, so that people can come and put their effort, and they could earn, they could live comfortably in the state of Assam. And with this particular vision, we sincerely request all of our next door neighbors, particularly the South Asian countries, please try to extend your support, because we are to work together. This family, for the second time, second ASEAN India Youth Summit is mainly, it is being organized only to develop our understanding, only to develop the spirit of togetherness, only to develop our goal to be mutually fulfilled by way of our dedicated efforts. So with these few words, I again sincerely welcome all of you to the beautiful city of Guwahati. This is your home. Consider it to be your home. Please, we are always at your service, and whatever during your 3 days stay, whatever experience you gather out of staying in this particular city, please let us know. If there is any deficiency, we are ready to give serious attention to your experiences, because we want to improve this particular city, one of the beautiful city in the southeast part of the southeast ASEAN zones. And our Prime Minister is so kind to us that he has always been giving wholehearted support to us and saying us that, go ahead, I'm with you. So this is the Prime Minister who keep always talking about our speedy growth, and he has always been teaching us that how work is worship, duty is God. So it is he who worked 20 hours in a day. This is, I believe, in the history of 70 years of our independence. He is the first Prime Minister who worked 20 hours a day. So this is what we are to learn from this Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. He has set example by way of putting his effort dedicatedly, and this is how young generation can be motivated, young generation can be inspired. If you are to build up your personality without hard work, it is not possible. There is no shortcut to success. This is what this is by our Honorable Prime Minister to us, Narendra Modi ji. Whatever is like development taking place in this part of the country, it is because of his blessing, and that is why I sincerely request all of you, my youth friends from the ASEAN countries, please be at home at Guwahati. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Now may I request the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam, Sri Sarbananda Sonowal, to kindly felicitate our distinguished speakers. First, to Sri K.J. Alphons, Minister of Tourism, Government of India. To also Mr. Phoak, Deputy Secretary General, ASEAN Socio-Cultural Community. To Ms. Vijay Thakur Singh, Secretary East, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Lastly, I would like to request Major General Dhruv Sikatoch, Director, India Foundation, to kindly felicitate Sri Sarbananda Sonowal, Honorable Chief Minister of Assam. Before we end this session, it gives me immense pleasure to convey our sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Minister of Assam for all the support and hosting such an important event in the beautiful state of Assam. Our thanks to Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Phoak, for gracing us in this esteemed occasion. Sincere gratitude to Sri K.J. Alphons, and also to Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. Thank you to all. We now break for tea for